my WWE Royal Rumble 2011 pay-per-view predictions. Pay-per-view is live tonight, exclusively on pay-per-view. And I gotta say, this looks like it'll probably be a very good Royal Rumble from WWE. The 2 title matches should be great. The women's match is the only thing that's pretty much the throwaway match on the show that no one cares about. Possibly the only thing good about that match would possibly be the rumor of maybe Amazing Kong making her debut in that match. Other than that, that match no one cares about. That'll probably be the moment of that match if that part does happen. And then this year, instead of the traditional 30-man Battle Royal that you've always had at the Royal Rumble, this year they're increasing it to 40-man in the Battle Royal. And a lot of people I know have a problem with this because it's not sticking to the tradition of the Royal Rumble of the 30-man over-the-top Battle Royal, and this year it's 40-man. I don't have a problem with it. Now, the one argument that I will agree with some people with that have a problem with it is instead of them, they're pretty much trying to just increase this to 40, and they're filling it with a lot of filler, I would say. A lot of people that we know don't have no chance of winning, and that's the only bad thing with it. But I don't think that's going to necessarily ruin the Rumble because there's still 6 spots left, so there's a few surprises, or I wouldn't say really surprises because some people already kind of know who the 6 people would be, or a good portion of them. But there can still be some surprises in the Rumble, and I don't think the 40-man Battle Royal, I don't think them adding 10 more people is going to ruin it. I think it's going to be the great match like it always is. And it's the one match every single year that pretty much always delivers from WWE. Now, the first matchup would probably be one of the world title matches, I would say. With that case, it will probably be the SmackDown World Title with the World Heavyweight Champion Edge defending the title against Dolph Ziggler. This could probably be a very good match. It's kind of interesting to see Dolph Ziggler getting a title shot right now. Some people might say that's a little too early for him. And most people obviously know with this match, Edge is going to win. There's no chance Dolph Ziggler is going to win. It would be a huge surprise if he does. But it should be a very good match and probably a good way to start the pay-per-view with Edge retaining the championship. Then the next match is Natalya versus Layla for the Divas Championship in a handicap match. This match I could care less about. They need to do something different with Natalya as Divas Champion instead of these continuous repetitive matches with Layla. They need to have her take on, someone like maybe Gail Kim, Beth Phoenix, or possibly even Melina to do a different feud instead of having her keep on constantly taking on Layla. It's getting very repetitive, and you're seeing the same exact match, and no one really cares about it. With this being a handicap match, I think some way or another Natalya will retain the Divas Championship. I don't see her losing it right here. And there's a big rumor that Amazing Kong possibly might make her debut in WWE within this match, and if that happens, I don't know if she's going to side with Layla, and if that happens, they might win the titles, or she might side with Natalya. I'm not sure how WWE wants her to debut. I would think they would want her to debut as a heel, and in that case, she would have to side with Layla. So that'd probably be the biggest part in this match, or the only thing interesting in this match, if that happens, is Amazing Kong's WWE debut. The match-wise, it's just going to be a typical Divas match, nothing special. I still think Natalya, some way or another, will retain the championship, but possibly if Amazing Kong gets involved, since she'll probably debut as a heel, she probably will help Layla win the championship, or it might just end in disqualification. Then the next matchup will be the other world title match of the night. This is Randy Orton versus The Miz for the WWE Championship. I think these two will have a very good match. Now, I don't want to see Orton as champion just because I know if Orton wins tonight, he's going to be going in as champion at WrestleMania. And if they do that, I will not be surprised they do Randy Orton and John Cena at WrestleMania, since them two took on each other so many times, but they have never had a singles match at Mania. So I wouldn't necessarily be shocked if they do that type of match at WrestleMania. And I'm kind of hoping they don't, because I want to see something different other than them two at Mania. Does look like obviously we'll see John Cena versus CM Punk, so I don't think we'll have to worry about seeing Orton and Cena at Mania. But if Orton wins, that could be a possibility. I'm kind of hoping Miz retains his championship here, and I do see him retain the championship now. Him retaining the championship here, does that necessarily mean he's going to walk in as Mania as champion? No, because we still got the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view next month, which last year I think both titles changed at that pay-per-view, so would not be surprised if it happens yet again where both titles change hands there. So at the Royal Rumble, before, last year or two, you probably knew going into Mania at the Rumble what you probably were to see at Mania. But now with the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, you really don't know until after that pay-per-view what you're necessarily going to see at Mania. But depending on how this goes, if Orton wins the championship, the title will not change at Elimination Chamber. And if Miz wins it, there's a chance he could possibly walk into Mania as champion, but still, I would not be shocked if he loses the title at Elimination Chamber, at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, because WWE probably in their eyes don't think The Miz deserves walking in as Mania's champion, even though he is getting a lot of appearances on entertainment talk shows and stuff like that while he has been champion, and that WWE probably does like that from him a lot. So don't necessarily know how long he's going to keep this championship, but I do see him retain the championship tonight, and him and Orton probably will have a damn good match, just like the other world title match. Dolph Ziggler and Edge, I think they will have a good match. So both world title matches look like they could deliver, and both possibly be great world title matches tonight. With, I don't know which one will out-top each other, because Dolph Ziggler and Edge have the chance to be very, very good. And The Miz and Randy Orton can be very good. Now you got the main event, which will be the 40-man over-the-top battle royal. Instead of the traditional 30-man this year, it's 40 people going to be in it. Like I said, I don't have no problem with that. I don't think it's going to ruin the match, and I don't think it's going to be that much different than what we always see in the Royal Rumble, which is always a great match. Just this year, instead of 30, it's going to be 40, so just 10 extra people in it. Now, WWE could do a little better job of trying to make a little more surprises happen in it, because we got a few surprises that could possibly happen, which is, you got 6 spots still open in here. Now, the people that are probably going to, a lot of people are thinking who those 6 people are. I would say about 4 of them we possibly know who they might be, which is obviously one of them, no doubt, is going to be Triple H returning. One of them might be Undertaker returning, and then there's possibly 2 or 3 others that I might know who they are going to be. 2 of them, depending on if they can return right now, because I know they were going to return possibly in early to mid-February, and they might be able to be pushed up to return at the Rumble, and that's Evan Bourne and Christian. And another one, which is a high possibility that this one happened, is Booker T making his WWE return and returning at the Royal Rumble. Then that still leaves 1 spot open, so don't know who that's going to be. Is WWE just going to throw that in with someone like, a legend like Jerry the King Lawler, or is going to be possibly a surprise interest that we don't even expect to return, which is maybe someone like Chris Jericho. Not saying he will return, but it's a little possibility, WWE might be able to get someone like him, or throw a curveball out there that someone we do not expect to have any chance of being in the Royal Rumble, possibly him, or, even though I know this will not happen, just throwing it out there. Batista, I don't think, Chris Jericho and Batista, I don't think they have no chance of showing up, but it will be a surprise if either one of them actually does show up at the Royal Rumble. Now, with this, advancing this to 40 people instead of 30 people, it still kind of keeps it with the same amount of people that have a shot of winning it, which I think the main people that have a shot of winning this, which is the returning Triple H, I think most people know he's going to return. Undertaker, if he returns, he has a chance of winning it. Like most times, he does have a chance to win it. Then the other people have a chance. John Cena has a big chance of winning it, and I would say even CM Punk has a chance. So, right there with the people that are in WWE right now, I think CM Punk and John Cena have the biggest chance, and the returning people, possibly Triple H or Undertaker. And I'm probably going with maybe Triple H returning and winning the Rumble. But I don't know, that might be a little too obvious, or a lot of people might be expecting that, and WWE might not do that. So I'm going to say Triple H is probably going to win the Rumble, but maybe CM Punk might win, because they might want to have him win the Rumble, then at next month's pay-per-view, have John Cena win the Elimination Chamber match, and have him win the championship, and then have a title match with John Cena and CM Punk at WrestleMania. That's a possibility. Or, maybe we'll see John Cena win the Rumble, Miz retains the championship, and we'll see The Miz and John Cena at a WrestleMania match, which I think that could possibly be a WrestleMania match right there. I think the one thing that everyone wants to see this year at Mania, which is not going to happen, unfortunately, maybe they'll save it for next year, is Undertaker versus John Cena. That needs to happen at WrestleMania, but I don't think it's going to happen this year, at least the way it's looking right now. I don't think there's any possibility of that happening right now. So I think that right there is going to be saved for another WrestleMania. So I think this Royal Rumble pay-per-view is going to be very good. The Rumble match, I think, is going to be very entertaining. You know, it's going to be interesting to see more than 30 people in there, with this year being 40 people. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a complete clusterfuck where they have too many people in there at one time. Hopefully they book it very well, and I don't think they are not going to book it well. I think they'll book it like they normally do, and it'll be a very good match like always. The 2 title matches should be very good, and really the only filler on here is going to be the women's match, and with Amazing Kong possibly making her WWE debut, that could at least be a highlight of that match, something that will at least be memorable with it, and that will at least make that match somewhat okay being on here if Amazing Kong makes her debut in that match. So I think the Royal Rumble will possibly be very good this year, and yeah, that's it for my WWE Royal Rumble 2011 pay-per-view predictions. Peace.